Yeah.
The so-called Negro community has shot the white man by resisting all efforts to divide us. I think that you and I should continue to shock him by staying and working together in unity. Despite religious, political, economic, or educational or social differences.
My people are terrified. We've been terrorized to the point that we're mentally and spiritually paralyzed. We suffered through centuries of dehumanization and degradation. It took the form of slavery and segregation in this land of the free, where oppression's government sanctioned. We're subjected to systemic skin color discrimination. From black codes to Jim Crow to black criminalization. It's been 400 years, it's time for our liberation. We're a nation within a nation, victims of colonization. Where's our revolution and Independence Day celebration? Cause what's the 4th of July to the slave on the plantation? And slavery didn't end, they just changed its implementation. Just check the 13th Amendment, then you'll see why so many black males end up as guilty defendants. The system isn't broken, it's working as it's intended. So I'm not here to fix it, I'm here to end it.
And then again, if we tell you that Negroes are being hung on the tree or being shot down illegally, unjustly, and those Negroes should do something to protect themselves, you say you're advocating violence.
I won't rest till this nightmare we're living in ends, and we see justice for our murdered young innocent men. If black lives really matter, black people need the proof. Cause we are the only ones responsible for our improvement. How can we leave it to someone else to do what's best for us? Especially when there's someone else that's historically been oppressing us. We can't use a system built to enslave us to free us. And we really sick if we think that they white Jesus can heal us. Our children need us to defend them, teach them and guide them, show them love and bring out the greatness that is deep inside them. Are we gonna build a nation or stay on the plantation? Keep begging for our freedom or fight for our liberation?
When the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, he didn't say get nonviolent. He said praise the Lord, but pass the ammunition. We must be willing to die together or we'll definitely die separately. We desperately need unity if liberation is our destiny. If we don't know our history, then we doomed to repeat it. White supremacy is the enemy, but together we can defeat it. They stole us from the motherland, sold us into slavery, forced us to work for them. They got the nerve to call us lazy. In this caste system, we're outcasts, still treated as second class. But I can feel it in the air, revolutions in the forecast. We came for greatness, but they don't want us to know. So they hid our history to keep us under control. All it takes is to take a stand. The enemy's not invincible, but we must come together as one nation, indivisible. 20 million black people don't even know their own language. Why? Because he took it away from them. 20 million black people who don't even know the history of their ancestors. Why? Because he took it away from them. And he's trying to tell them how thoroughly and completely they've been robbed. He says you're teaching hate. That's something to think about. Today you are coming out of college. You're coming out of the leading university. You're trying to go in a good direction, but you don't know which direction to go in.
So family, as you all saw recently, as of this video, I posted this on my community tab, you know, along with like shouting out the donors to the channel. As you know, if you contribute to any of the broadcasts on the channel, unless you request to remain anonymous, I list the donors on the community tab, and I usually have like a picture right below it. Okay. So for anybody that contributes, unless you request to remain anonymous, I put all the donors to the content on the community tab as a way to say thank you. Shout out to you all. You know, I think, one of the most loyal subscriber bases ever. I appreciate everything that anybody donates, but we have to address this subject now that we've cleared that up. And as you see, the post is about RKelly and Nicki Minaj. So before I give my thoughts on this, let's read the post together, okay? It says, according to a lot of people, if you still listen to RKelly, you're supporting a sex offender / predator. Then why do y'all support Nicki Minaj, whose brother sexually assaulted, they misspelled assault, a child under 13, and she bailed him out? Also marrying and having a baby with a sex offender who spent years in prison for the R word. Y'all ready for this convo? Well, whether you're ready for the convo or not, we about to have it today on this channel. So let's start with RKelly. First and foremost, they used the Mann Act to convict RKelly. No man, no foundational Black American man worth a damn is defending his actions sleeping with underage girls. What we are saying and have been saying, and this is clarifying my position on this, because nobody probably ever heard me speak on this. If you're going to lock him up for that, get him on those charges. He beat those charges in those cases that they brought against him. And then they tried to come back around with the damn Mann Act, because that's exactly what they did. He's in prison not for sex offender crimes or what have you. He's in prison for racketeering and RICO charges and such. Okay. And while we talking about RICO charges, they can sure throw them at black men, boy. But the Proud Boys and rest of white supremacist groups can't get no damn RICO charges for nothing. Oh, my God. I mean, if you look at January 6th, they supposed to have plenty of RICO charges, but that's a whole nother video for another day. Sticking with this, again, if you're going to lock him up for that, lock him up for that. Don't make up some bullshit and then put him in jail on that and then say, yeah, it's good he's in there. Because any dumb black person co-signing that bullshit, don't say anything when it's your family member that they do it to next. Okay. And see, along with RKelly, if you're going to lock him up, we've all been saying this, because most black men wasn't supporting none of that pedophile shit that he had going on. But if you're going to lock up RKelly, go get them parents that knew that their teenage daughters were over to this man's house for days and weeks and months at a time. How you going to have underage girls that's under your care and that you raising gone from your household for months at a time and you don't know where they're at? They was in on it. He was slipping them a bag and they looked the other way. So if you're going to lock him up, they need to go get all them parents next. Lock their asses up too. See, we have to practice justice in our community, family. We can't co-sign injustice. And as far as everybody talking about free the man, if you going to free him because you trumped up some damn charges on him and got him in jail for racketeering and all the other garbage. But if you're going to lock him up, again, lock him up for the crimes that he committed if you have the evidence and proof. That's what we're saying. So now that we got that out the way, let's deal with the Nicki Minaj situation here. Okay, so I saw in the comment section, there was a lot of people with the cape on, probably a lot of non-FBA people, but it was probably some FBA throwing the cape on for her, talking about, well, they did no crime, she didn't do them. See, this is the problem why we have to have a separation in our community. Let me point something out to you motherfuckers that's co-signing that bullshit, right? She didn't commit the crimes, and I can understand that, okay, you're going to stand by your brother and bail him out. I can almost give you a pass on that. That's family. That is a very complex situation. Okay. But what he did was disgusting. All right. So now when it comes to who you choose to date, marry, and procreate with, how you going to marry a damn sex offender that's convicted of rape and spent years in prison? See, let me talk to y'all sisters over here for a minute. And I know this don't apply to FBA women in large majority. Okay, it applies to some of you. I'm not gonna act like I don't see that. But these non-FBA chicks, because Nicki Minaj is non-FBA, yes, it does matter. This is the reason why a lot of the shit that's going on in their homelands is going on. They look the other way on shit like this. And I'm not going to just put this on women in the black diaspora. I'm saying women in general. I'm going to give you an example. You can have somebody like an Adolf Hitler, a Benito Mussolini, okay, a Joseph Stalin, whoever, whatever dictator you want to name. I guarantee you it's some woman sitting up there next to him knowing everything that he's doing. But as long as it's not being done to her, she looks the other way on it because it's something that she can gain out of it. Now, in this situation, it's completely ass backwards. Nicki Minaj makes the more money out of the two of them between her and her husband. So it's not like she with them for any type of financial gain. She's a damn degenerate. What woman? Let sisters take that goddamn let me cape for the female bullshit out for a minute. We talking about right and wrong and morality. What decent woman in her right frame of mind is going to marry a convicted damn rapist? You're not even thinking about, okay, can you bring this motherfucker around children? What if you have children? That doesn't go anywhere. Let me explain something. You can rehabilitate a thief. Hell, you can rehabilitate a murderer quicker than you can a child molester or a damn rapist. And y'all sitting up here in the comment section with the cape on for her talking about she didn't commit the crime. The problem is her fucking judgment. And yes, I said judgment because, see, in our community, white supremacy has cultivated a culture in our society where we think we're not supposed to make judgments. You make judgments when you get out of bed in the morning. The reason why you don't walk out the damn door butt ass naked. Now, we see in our community, we got some people that's silly enough to walk around in public with fucking bonnets and pajamas and slides and all kind of goofy shit like that. These are people that are big overgrown children. And the dominant society, white supremacist society, they like that. That's the kind of black people they like. The black people that don't have any sense to make proper common sense judgments on things. Judgments are what protects your society and your community and your family from harm. And a lot of y'all sisters out here today, a lot of y'all just don't judge nobody. I don't want to judge them. Okay, then I'm going to tell you something. For those of you that take that mindset, you better consider this. If you don't want no judgment going on, you're not going to make no judgments about anything. You can't properly protect your children and the people that you are with. As far as these dusty, pedophile motherfuckers like this bastard that she married, they're not going to be able to protect you. Y'all better stop and think about this, man. That makes no sense. Just because she didn't do it, so you trying to say, okay, see, let me ask you this. Let's go ahead and break it down. If somebody commits a crime, okay, an egregious crime, all right, especially like harming children or forcing yourself on somebody against their will like this, okay, and you hanging out with a group of people that's known for doing this, and then when somebody call you on it, you say, well, I don't do it, I just hang with them. How the fuck we know? How we know that your grimy ass don't think just like that? And see, for the longest time, this double standard in our community when women do something egregious, especially when it comes to like, you know, the pedophile situation. Oh, man, boy, look, and I'm going to go at the brothers on this, too. We have some brothers that try to co-sign the bullshit. If an older woman is messing with a younger boy, oh, man, yeah, he probably enjoyed that, this, that, the third. And then you wonder why some of our adults grow up with such mental issues and problems as far as like how they act towards the opposite sex. The emotional trauma and the scarring that does to a child, male or female, when they're molested by a man or a woman. But we tend to just kind of give that a pass in the female community across the board. I'm not just talking about in the black community. I'm talking about across races. You look at the time that they get, if they get time at all for getting caught up like that. All these teachers sleeping with these students that are females. See, that comes from that degenerate mindset like a Nicki Minaj has. And see, when that lets you know about how she grew up and her culture, that lets you know about, because see, in FBA society, we don't have no open pedophile culture. We call that our up, down, left, and right. None of us are with that. None of us are with that at all. You can't walk up to no community where we at and, hey, man, where can I buy some kids to sleep with? Man, boy, we be like, oh, yeah, we're going to take you to them. All right. Wait, right there. We're going to go and tell the rest of the community, and we're going to deal with you on the spot, especially down here in the South. Oh, boy, we don't play that. The only way, now it does go on, but guess how it goes on? It goes on under the table. It ain't out in the open. Because you get found out that you a pedophile down here in southern Georgia. Man, please, let me tell y'all something, boy. That ain't what you want right there. You better not get locked up for that. Oh, man, that's a no-no right there. You know, and see, this type of mindset right here, as far as her being concerned, you stop and think about that now. Would you trust somebody like that? Let's talk real now. Would you trust somebody that's willing to look the other way on somebody that's committed one of the most egregious acts, in my opinion, that you can commit on somebody, forcing yourself on somebody against their will? That lets you know what type of snake that is, because something is wrong with you for you to overlook that and marry that as a woman. Think about what that means. When you, as a woman, accept a man's marriage proposal, this is the man that's responsible for protecting and providing for you and your family. Now, she married a dust bucket, and we all know why, because women that do that, let's go here with that too. Women that do that, that marry these dudes with lower income like that, they do that because they like to be in control of them. And see, this little flunky ain't got nothing going on. He's a convicted felon. All right. He can't really bring nothing to the table. And before any of you try to say, oh, you being harsh, GBS. Okay, look at it this way. Which type of husband would you rather have, ladies? Would you rather have a man that can provide and protect for you as a whole? You know what I'm saying? And that makes more money than you, or at least just as much, that can handle business and has an upstanding reputation? Or would you have a piece of shit whom you the breadwinner in situation, and on top of that, he's convicted for rape? Which one would you rather have now, since you act, for those of you that try to act like I'm out of pocket or wrong for calling this bullshit out, which one would you rather have? Okay. Think about it from that perspective. And again, let's go back to the RKelly situation. RKelly is the type of motherfucker around most brothers. If you came around us, man, we ain't rocking with you like that. His musical talent, okay, that stands for itself. We can separate the musical talent from somebody that does something egregious, okay? Because his talent is his talent. That's two different things from the crime that he committed. So if you still like his music or whatever, cool, no problem with that. That has nothing to do with him and what he did, okay, for anybody with common sense. Because, see, when you look at the dominant society and pedophiles like Elvis Presley and, oh, man, it's just, I'll be here naming all day long if I start naming the list of them. Jerry Lee Lewis and all the rest of them, man. If you start, you know, looking at all those pedophiles, man, they don't throw their talent and their accomplishments away because they knew that. In fact, they don't even convict them or call them out at all. Those people that I just named, how many of them did they run up on charges for child molestation and pedophilia? Don't worry, I'll wait. They have to damn near commit an act of global treason before you can convict them on anything that they do like that. Now, I'm not saying that we should imitate their behavior, but I'm making the point about the talent. They're like, okay, this person was talented. They accomplished something. Well, in Elvis' case, he stole every damn thing. I got something coming up on the channel about that fact of business. But they say, okay, the talent is the talent. It is what it is. And we're going to accept that for what it is. And what they did, if we condemn it at all, we'll just condemn that part of it. You can't get white society to do that for nothing, though. So that part is non-existent with those people. But in our community, though, when y'all keep trying to look the other way on things like this post stated right here, some of y'all, boy, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Some of y'all just no earthly good to our community, man. Because, see, you got it right whenever a black man does something. We ready to get him, boy. We ready to get him. And rightly so if you do something wrong. But when it comes to have that same energy for what the women do in our community, oh, man, it's all kinds of excuses made, look the other way and all that. No. A person that ignores pedophilia is the same as a person that commits the shit. Just because you didn't do it, but then you know about it, and then you go and marry somebody and procreate with them, what's that saying about your standards as a woman? See, brothers, I want y'all to understand something. When you out here picking a mate, who you going to be with, you better see that these women have some type of morals and integrity. You better put them through their paces on that. Don't be in such a rush to go and knock them up and have kids with them. First of all, I advocate for forming families and in a marriage before you start having kids all over the damn place. But you better start vetting these women to see what their worldview is And they ain't gonna be able to fake it if you take your time and vet them for long. They can't fake it for long. If you do it right, you're gonna be able to see and then watch what they do, not so much what they say. Cause see, I'm gonna tell you right now, for me and a lot of brothers that have our shit together, if we even see that you got, like, you co-sign this bullshit that you see on Love and Hip Hop and stuff like that, and every time you turn around, you listen to Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, and all that. Okay, all right, we're gonna make a little mental note of that. Yeah, this right here, you put in a certain category not to be taken seriously. For the brothers out here that have standards, that's how we operate. And sisters, I'm gonna say it for you the same. I call it down the middle. If you see a guy, he's a dirtbag, and every time you turn around, he got some kind of dirtbag behavior going on, you shouldn't have nothing to do with him. You shouldn't have nothing to do with him. Don't be thinking to yourself, well, he got this or that, I can get something out of it. Do you know how many situations in our community in particular end up bad and the children end up suffering because you thinking, okay, let me try to get something out of it and I can change him, or I'm going to be so slick that I'm going to figure out a way that I can get something out of the situation for me. And then just what he got going on ain't going to be a problem. Unfortunately, some of y'all end up being abused or either getting killed because you look the other way on shit like that. Integrity is a protection, people. Integrity is a protection. And that's something that we better start to understand in our community. These non-FBA people that come from these countries where pedophilia and abusing women is the norm, man. Look, I'm just going to say it. The greater majority of them, not all, but the greater majority of them over here are too far gone to reach. And I'm going to tell you how I know. When you see them over here, they can call out everything in Black American culture, but they don't never talk about the rape and pedophilia that's going on back in their home countries. Because if they really did have integrity and they cared about it, they would be mentioning that in the media takeouts, the shade rooms, the Matter New Orleans, all these different sites that they have like that. They would be mentioning that. They don't, because their mindset is similar to like the Hispanics that get over here and the Asians and East Indians and all these other groups classified as white. Once they get over here to America, they're like, oh man, fuck the rest of y'all. Hey, I'm over here now. Hey, that's back home. I ain't got nothing to do with that. It's all about me over here. We can't afford to operate like that in foundational Black American society, and we won't. And we will clean that trash out of our community. Nicki Minaj is a non-FBA woman, and we going to clean the trash out of our community as far as it being non-FBA men. It ain't going to be when you do something that's messed up, you say everybody Black all of a sudden. No, that era is coming to an end. We wrapping that up. We should have cleaned that up in our community a long time ago. And I'm going to say this before I close. We are also going to clean up the trash within foundational Black American society. Oh, it's house cleaning time. It's house cleaning time. And as far as new Black media and those of us with integrity have anything to say about it, we're going to do our part to make sure it get done. With that said, if you're new here, whether you agree or disagree with this video, scroll through the archives, like, share, subscribe. Black first, and I'll see you all in future content.